It's a bad deal for South Carolina. It's a bad deal for the whole country.
Coming up on Carolina News, a new direction. The GOP released its new tax plan today. But what does one University of South Carolina professor think that means for the state? DNC shakedown. All eyes are on the former Democratic National Committee chairwoman after accusations she made about Hillary Clinton. Bestseller. One unexpected toy is leading Amazon sales. Carolina News starts now.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Delaney McPherson.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Fries. The GOP took to the national spotlight yesterday when they unveiled their new proposed tax plan.
Alan Devlin has that story and more from a former Democratic superstar.
On Thursday, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan took to the podium to unveil the new GOP tax plan that's set to change the taxation system in America. And he highlighted how the GOP expects the plan to impact American families.
With this plan, the typical family of four will save $1,182 a year on their taxes.
And now, happy with the plan, President Donald Trump wants the plan ready to roll out as soon as possible.
Also, have a bill on my desk, hopefully, Kevin, by Thanksgiving.
Some of the key points the new plan brings to the table: lowering the corporate tax rate to 20%, reducing the number of individual tax brackets, and preserving property tax reduction. Shortly after the unveiling Thursday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer criticized the bill, saying the GOP moved way too fast.
All the businesses want to look at it. Everybody wants to look at it. They're trying to rush it through. Why? They're ashamed of this bill.
The new tax plan is set to change the course of taxation across the country, but how will it affect the people right here in South Carolina?
It's a bad deal for South Carolina. It's a bad deal for the whole country.
Dr. Donald Fowler is a U.S. history professor at USC and lifelong Democratic Party member. He also was the chairman for the DNC in 1988, and he does not believe the bill is all the GOP is making it out to be.
It is the kind of thing that you expect from Republicans, and when they say that this tax cut affects everybody favorably, they're lying. South Carolina has more than its share of people who live close to the poverty line and people who live just above it. Those people will not receive any tax cuts.
And as for the nation's response, we'll just have to wait and see. With Carolina News, I'm Alan Devlin.
Republicans will be working around the clock from now until Thanksgiving to try and meet President Trump's unofficial deadline for the passing of the tax bill. Unemployment is at a new nationwide low, hitting 4.1%. Economists say that the U.S. has reached full employment. There are 6.5 million people looking for jobs, and there are 6 million job openings across America. In October, 89,000 of the jobs gained were in the restaurant industry, followed by business with 50,000 and manufacturing with 24,000. America has now experienced 85 consecutive months of job growth.
Gamecock football is gearing up for a big weekend when they travel to Athens to play the top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Reporter Claudia Chakamian is in Athens covering the game. She spoke with a University of Georgia journalism student about what fans on both sides can expect tomorrow.
Hey everyone, we're behind enemy lines right now in the heart of Georgia's campus. Look behind us, this is actually the old Georgia football field when they were the GOATs. Bah. And on that, let me introduce you to Georgia journalist Patricia Duffy. We're gonna have a little bit of fun ahead of tomorrow's game, USC versus Georgia. A little point, counterpoint. First of all, the run game. Jake Bentley rushed in his 2 first career touchdowns on the ground last weekend. So that just ups South Carolina's run game, I think, personally, for them.
And I mean, those quarterback rushing touchdowns are huge, but we've got 5 running backs that can run it for us, and Chubb, Michelle, it's really hard to beat that.
Yeah. And then, of course, it's a Jake and Jake show. Jake Fromm for you guys, and Jake Bentley for the Gamecocks. I personally really like what Jake Bentley has done over the past year. He's a sophomore now, has a little bit of experience under his belt.
And true freshman Jake Fromm, I mean, when he goes to the NFL, he's going to have that sponsorship from State Farm, but he's leading the SEC in QBR and, you know, really getting it done efficiently when he passes the ball.
Very true. It's going to be a dogfight no matter what, I would say. And then, of course, you guys just got released as the #1 for the college football playoff rankings. I think you guys are a little bit too cocky right now. Gamecocks are going to come in there and turn that down a little bit.
Georgia struggles with the mental game, but I think that as long as they come out and really get the fire going early, it's going to be really hard for the Gamecocks to finish it out.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens. It's going to be a great game regardless. That's all we have from here today. Be sure to tune in. We'll have complete coverage for you on Carolina News on Monday.
Kickoff in Athens is set for 3:30 p.m. Tune in on Monday for our team coverage of the game. Well, the weather has been warm today. Hannah, is still feeling like summer. Is it still feeling like summer out there?
Well, that's right, Kevin. It's a beautiful day here in Columbia. The sun is shining and it's warm outside, and it's going to stay that way here for the rest of the weekend. But if you're heading to Athens for the game tomorrow, you might not be so lucky. The high is 77, and they're calling for scattered showers in the afternoon right around that 3:30 kickoff time. So if you're going for the game, you might want to pack an umbrella. And I'll have the rest of your forecast later in the show.
Thanks, Anna. A fifth suspect has been arrested from the shooting in Columbia's Vista back in September that left 8 injured. Janoris Lartman was charged with 7 counts of attempted murder, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and possession of a weapon by a person convicted of a felony. Lartman was released from the hospital Thursday after being injured during the shooting. He is accused of shooting several times from the inside of a car and was taken to Alvin Glen Detention Center.
Bo Bergdahl will avoid prison time in his 2009 desertion case. Bergdahl was dishonorably discharged and demoted from sergeant to private at the suggestion of the defense. The prosecution had recommended up to 14 years in prison for his crimes. He is also ordered to pay a fine of $1,000 of his monthly salary for the next 10 months. In his testimony this week, Bergdahl gave a surprise apology to the men who were injured in the dangerous search and rescue missions in attempts to find him. Bergdahl acknowledged that he committed a crime and that he should be punished for it. Yesterday, President Donald Trump's Twitter was deactivated for 11 minutes. As it turns out, a rogue Twitter customer support employee manually shut down the account on his or her last day. It's no secret that Trump is extremely active on Twitter, with over 36,000 tweets since 2009. Twitter says that no new information will be released about who the employee was or how they were able to get access to the account. But it didn't take long for Trump to go back to business as usual, tweeting about the new tax plan.
Today and tomorrow, USC students and faculty forfeit their sleep and maybe even their sanity, all in the name of advertising and marketing. During the 24-hour event, volunteer students create and develop advertisements and marketing strategies to help local nonprofits. The event is already underway and ends tomorrow at 12:30. To learn more, visit the College of Information and Communications website. Today is the first day of the Craftsman's Classic Arts and Craftsman Festival at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds. And although there are almost 300 artists and vendors at the festival, one craftsman in particular is working hard to warm people's hearts. Brianna Trusty has the story.
People came out by the hundreds to take in the sights and smells of the Craftsman's Classic Art and Craft Festival. From jewelry, to mugs, to birdhouses, anyone and everyone is sure to find something that they want to take home.
Well, there's a lot going on here at the Craftsman's Classic Arts and Craft Festival. One booth in particular really blew people's minds.
It's kind of like playing with a liquid in midair.
Ken Curtis has been a glassblower at this festival for over 30 years and couldn't really see himself doing anything else, especially sitting behind a desk.
I'm not a paperwork person.
And he didn't particularly enjoy the corporate world either.
I got tired of the corporate world where you have to, we need a dozen of these by Friday.
Luckily, the festival allows Curtis to move at his own pace. The festival has pit stops all across the southeast United States, but Curtis especially loves coming to Columbia.
And now I've come to Columbia, there's a lot of people in Columbia that know me and collect my glass, and so I have regular customers that come here.
Barb Way is one of those regular customers.
This time it was my time to get some.
Customers are lured in by the light, but they stay for the gorgeous glass figurines that Curtis creates.
This morning I made a flamingo for a lady.
Bought a little pink flamingo because sometimes you have to treat yourself.
And the spreading of positivity definitely isn't one-sided.
It's a stress reliever to make this. So I think being an artist is a good lifestyle. It changed my life.
And while glassblowing has changed Curtis's life, his work has touched the lives of countless others. For Carolina News, I'm Brianna Trusty.
If you would like to see the glass blowing for yourself, the Arts and Crafts Festival will be at the fairgrounds through Sunday.
Coming up next, new allegations have emerged surrounding Hillary Clinton's involvement in the Democratic nominations. We'll tell you more after the break.